The Champions is back, and we've got a brand new section of the Champions League, the knockout playoff rounds. Teams that finished between 8th and 24th in the Champions League table were drawn out of a hat and paired up to qualify for the Champions League. They've now got a two-legged tie against another team that either finished higher or lower than them, depending on where you finished, and the winner will go through to the round of 16. Now, there's some mouth-watering ties in here, and we're going to cover all of them, but if you guys love the Champions League as much as I do, make sure to smash that like and hit that big red subscribe button. And if you want to stay in touch with the Champions League, check out Flashscore right now. Look at this, I can get all the Champions League scores on my phone. As soon as a goal goes in, you guys will be notified across all of the 8 knockout rounds. It'll also give you Champions League information and news the second it drops, all to your phone. You can download it now for free. Flashscore, link is in the description and in the pinned comment of the video. But without further ado, let's get into game number 1 of the Knockout Champions League. And it's an all-league occasion as Brest take on Paris Saint-Germain and they take on Paris Saint-Germain. It's a pretty good game, actually, but considering these two teams met 5 days ago, I'm a bit annoyed that they paired these two teams up together. But unfortunately, the 3 Ligue 1 sides came out in the same sort of bracket, so 2 of them are going to play each other, let's be honest. And it is Stade Brest against Paris Saint-Germain with the first leg. This is all the first legs, by the way, in at Brest. Now, Brest were on top for a top 8 finish, but did fall off considerably, and they've not hit form in the league. These two teams, at the time of recording, played 5 days ago, which for you watching will be last week, and PSG went to Brest and won by 5 goals to 2. And ever since PSG cooked us in that second half of the Champions League game at the Parc des Princes, they've been cooking everybody. They're unbeaten in Ligue 1 since the result, and as well, they cooked Shakhtar in the final game of the Champions League, 3 goals to 1, but could have been way more. And obviously, the fact that they've got a result on their opponent 2 weeks before this game is scheduled to take place really does help. And the fact that it's away at Brest as well, and that's where the game's going to be, I think puts PSG in their big driving spot to go through in this game. And knowing the way that PSG are playing at the moment, they could actually do it in one game. All they've got to do is go and hammer them 5-2 like they did 5 days ago. And I think that'll pretty much confirm them into the round of 16 of the Champions League. And they're actually playing so well. Like, don't expect PSG to not push on from the round of 16 onwards, even though their poor placement in the table. But crazily enough, they actually went from 26th all the way up to about 15th with 2 wins in the final 2 match days against City and Stuttgart, which is crazy. But that just says how crazy the Champions League is. It is absolutely mad. I think PSG are going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be 5-2. Let's be honest, Stade Brest are not going to win Ligue 1. And they've got every egg in the Champions League basket this season. And therefore, I think Stade Brest are going to give them a really, really good game. And I think it's going to be really close. But then again, another side of my brain says, if it's 5-2 5 days ago, it's probably going to be more this time. But no, I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to stick with my heart on this one. And I'm going to go Stade Brest 1. I think they'll score. PSG 2. I expect PSG to get the win in this game, but I don't think that it will be as one-sided, the scoreline and the game, as it was 5 days ago in that earlier meeting in Ligue 1, because I think Brest have got all their eyes on progressing in the Champions League, because this is the first time in their history that they've ever been in it. They were not expected to finish in the top 4 of Ligue 1 last year, and they did. They had an amazing season. They've had an amazing start to the Champions League, but fell off from match day 6 onwards. And I mean, if the Champions League was only 6 match days, Brest would have qualified into the round of 16. But unfortunately, it's not. It's 8. Now they've got to play their Ligue 1 French rivals, Paris Saint-Germain. I don't see them getting through overall, but they could give them a really good game. I'm going 2-1 PSG. Juventus take on PSV Eindhoven in a very, very interesting clash with the first leg taking place at the Juventus Stadium. Now, up until about 2 weeks ago, Juventus were unbeaten in all competitions, even though they were sat 5th in the Serie A. It's still a pretty insane fact that they got to the end of January, early February, completely unbeaten. But now the wheels have fell off. A 0-0 draw against Brugge in match day 7. Then they got beat to Napoli, 2 goals to 1 at the weekend in the Serie A at Napoli. It's hard to go to Napoli and get a result, but with Juve being unbeaten, they would have had the confidence to maybe go there and get something, even though Napoli are at the top. And obviously last week they were beaten 2-0 at home to Benfica. With the results being as they were, they had to win to get in. And they did. They won by 2-0 away at Juve, a place in which City got beat by 2-0. PSV beat Feyenoord literally on the day that I'm recording this video on the Wednesday, and they are now top of the Eredivisie in the Netherlands. However, they've not really got going in the Champions League and have been a bit hit and miss, but they did get a result against Liverpool in the last match day, beating them by 3-2, albeit they were playing a second-strength Liverpool team. But you've got to beat what's in front of you, and PSV did, and the atmosphere looked great, and they deservedly got the 3 points, and helped Liverpool go not unbeaten. So thank you for that. But I think this is going to be a really close game. These two actually played each other in the Champions League this year, and it finished 1-1 in an early match day at the Juventus Stadium. I think that's exactly what's going to happen again. It's going to be a cagey game. PSV might score first. Juventus might score. If Juventus score first, I think they will defend. They will defend a 1-0 lead. But however, they're at home first. I think Juve need to get a 2-goal result in this game. Otherwise, I think they're going to go out at Philips Stadion. I just think PSV are a better side than them, a more attacking side, a more free-flowing side. I don't understand what's gone on with Thiago Motta since joining Juventus, because Bologna was so free-flowing, so attacking last year, and that's why they got into the top 4. And, well, 5th, really. They got the extra place, didn't they? And that's why they were in the Champions League this year, albeit they've gone out in the groups. They were missing their manager. But their manager is hardly cooked for Juve. Yes, they were unbeaten. Yes, it's an impressive stat. But they were still 5th. Like, they weren't even in the top 4 of the Serie A. They weren't looking like they were going to win games. They just weren't looking like they weren't going to lose games, which is a classic Italian mentality and the way of thinking. Because in Italy, it's all about the defence. The defence does win titles, but it also gets you 5th, unbeaten, and not really pushing for anything. Therefore, I think PSV are a lot better side to watch. I briefly watched them in that 3-2 game, but I was at the Etihad watching City get past Bruges, so I couldn't watch all the game. I think it will be tight. I think it will be tight. Over the course of 2 legs, I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to shade, but on this game, I'm going Juve 1, PSV 1, same scoreline as they met in the earlier match day. Sporting Club de Portugal are back at the Estadio Jose Alvara, and they're playing, I think I got that right, and they're playing Borussia Dortmund, who currently sit 11th in the Bundesliga. Dortmund, last year's finalists, are 11th in the Bundesliga. Bizarre, mind-blowing. And Sporting are somehow still top of the Portuguese league. Obviously, they were cooking under Ruben Amorim. They were unbeaten in the league, but have since absolutely capitulated, mainly in the Champions League. They were on target for a top 8 finish. When they beat City 4-1, they were on target to finish in the top 8 quite convincingly. They were 12 out of 12 in the Portuguese league. They were absolutely flying. They've lost the manager, but they're starting to re-grip a little bit of form, Sporting, but have still not impressed me. Now they've got a very tough game against Borussia Dortmund. And obviously, with the fact that they're 11th in the Bundesliga, let's be honest, they're not going to win the Bundesliga. So the only thing that they could possibly win is maybe the DFB Pokal or the Champions League. Now, they got to the final last year. Who's to say that they couldn't go on and go one better and actually win the tournament for the second time? I don't know about this one because Dortmund have only got this to play for, and Sporting have got a point to prove. Obviously, they still want to be the bee's knees, even though Ruben Amorim has left, and they have struggled without him, as previously stated. With the first leg being in Sporting, I think they need a positive result to go to the Signal Iduna Park. Going to Signal Iduna is one of the hardest places to play in European football. And especially with how Dortmund are slacking in the Bundesliga, the fans are going to be even more behind them than ever. It might be the 13th man, that yellow wall, when playing in the Champions League. They've got to get through this game. Otherwise, it's a disastrous season for Dortmund. But they got a new manager in. They have sat Nuri Sahin. Obviously, 11th in the Bundesliga for a club like Borussia Dortmund is just completely unacceptable. And we're going to see how that transitions. But they've got to win this tie overall. I can't call who's going to win this tie. I generally can't. But what I can call is this match. And I think Sporting are going to win it. Because they're at home. They've always got a good atmosphere at Sporting. Well, whenever I've been, the 2 times that I've been, it's been great. And they've got to bounce back. They've got to bounce back with the fact that the performances aren't there under Amorim. I know how well they can play. They've still got one of the best goal scorers in Europe, Vincent Gyökeres, up front. He can still score whenever he needs to. And I think his goals are going to be absolutely influential on Sporting's progress in this Champions League competition. And mainly in this game, I think he'll score twice. I think the Dortmund defence is not very good. And I think this is going to be a very interesting and attacking game of football. I think Sporting's defence is a lot more solidified. The fact that I don't know if they still play 5 at the back with the 3 centre-backs and the 2 wing-backs. I am not sure. I haven't watched Sporting since they clapped us 4-1. You have to tell me in the comments. But I think Sporting are going to win this game by 3-1. They're going to be defensively sound. I think they're going to attackingly expose Borussia Dortmund. and Gyökeres is going to bag a couple of goals. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with that? Let me know. It's time for the big boy, the granddaddy of football matches at the moment. The annual occasion of Manchester City take on Real Madrid. It is obviously the biggest game of this Champions League knockouts. It's arguably the biggest game of the Champions League for the past 4 years. These two teams have met in 2021, in 2022, in 2023, and in 2024. People forget the meeting in 2021 due to the fact that there was one in lockdown and one in normal. In 2021, City beat Madrid after going to the Bernabeu and winning by 2-1, and then beat them by the same scoreline behind closed doors at the Etihad. In 2022, it was a chaos game. 4-3 City after the first game at the Etihad. Madrid with 2 late goals to win by 3-1 in the second leg and absolutely break my heart at the Bernabeu. They went on to win the Champions League that year. In 2023, it was a 1-1 draw after a KDB screamer, and City cooked Madrid 4-0 at the Etihad to go through and win their first Champions League and our treble. And in 2024, the most recent year, a chaos game at the Bernabeu, which finished 3-3. City were in the driving seat. We went home. All we needed to do was win. But it was 1-1 and Madrid knocked us out on penalties and went on then to win the Champions League again. 3 of the 4 times in those 4 years that these two teams have played each other, the winner has gone on to win the competition. And the same applied in 2016, where Gareth Bale scored the only goal in a 2-legged game, and Madrid went on to win it in 2016 against Atletico on penalties in Milan. So Madrid are currently 3-2 up overall on knocking City out of the Champions League and then going on to win it on all 3 occasions. Meaning this time is our time. But it's time to break the game down. Obviously, City got beat 5-1 to Arsenal in their most recent game. But Madrid haven't cooked in their big games either. They lost 4-0 at home to Barcelona and then got beat 5-2 in Saudi Arabia and have lost 9-2 on aggregate against the Catalan Giants in 2 games. So neither team has failed to impress in the big games this season. However, Madrid have that habit of getting the job done when it matters, especially being 2 goals down, needing 2 goals in added time, and they did it. That's what Madrid do. And even coming from the depths against Bayern Munich in the last semi-final, how many times have we wrote Madrid off? And they've just come back and defied belief yet again. Therefore, we cannot rule out Madrid. But it's just a shame that these two teams have had to meet in the competition so early. Like, usually, this is a final game. This is a semi-final clash. This is a quarter-final clash like last season. But we're getting it in the knockout playoff round, meaning one of these two teams are not even going to get in the round of 16. Incredible. I don't know what UEFA are thinking. I know it's box office, but you've got to have these two teams in the later competition because the games that these two teams play are just too good for the neutrals and for the fans to watch because they're so good. So let's go over the teams a little bit. Now, this is where everyone goes, oh, Madrid are going to cook City because City are pants. Yes, we have been pants. But Madrid haven't been great either, and I'll tell you why. Madrid are missing a whole back 4 bar 1 player. Courtois is obviously fit. Carvajal's out for the whole season. Militao's out for the whole season. Alaba, I'm not sure whether he's going to be fit. He's a 50-50 doubt. Madrid Extra have said no, he's not going to be fit. And now Rudiger is out for both legs as well. Meaning the only player in the normal Madrid back 4 that's going to play is Ferland Mendy. I'm expecting to see him and Tchouaméni line up at centre-backs in the game, with Fran Garcia at right-back and the young lad, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, the young lad going in at right-back. So that leaves the hole in Madrid's midfield, which I'm sure Luka Modric will play alongside Valverde, and Camavinga will probably play in that 6, with Modric and Valverde in that midfield. The attack is where the problem comes in, but let's go over City's defence. Hopefully Ruben Dias is going to be back. That is a massive, massive plus. He should be our club captain and will be once KDB ultimately departs, which is going to be soon. I'm going to miss my ginger brother to bits, but it is coming. Obviously, Ederson and Ortega both haven't been great this year. We now don't have a recognised right back. With Nunez playing, like, against Vinicius Jr., that genuinely gives me goosebumps of anxiety because Kyle Walker was our annual, he's going to mark out Vinicius Jr. and he's going to struggle. It was usually, and usually is, Rodrigo that destroys us. Rodrigo always turns up when he plays against City. I remember Vinicius scoring a great goal last year, or the year before. I think it was in the 1-1 game. Both goals were screamers from Vinicius and De Bruyne. And Rodrigo's murked us every other year. Yeah, so I don't know about this one. So we've obviously saw Walker, Nunez coming in. Two centre-backs should be Stones and Diaz and Gavardiol, but the centre-backs haven't been good. The midfield is where the City battle lacks. Kovacic and Gundogan are too old, and we're going to struggle if we play them in midfield. Hopefully, we're going to see Nico Gonzalez play in that CDM role. But what a test this is going to be in his first couple of weeks at the Boys in Blue, playing against Real Madrid. KDB can pluck out a pass anywhere, and the attack is good. But the attack is not Rodrigo, Vinicius, Mbappe. Rodrigo on the right, Vinicius on the left, Mbappe up top. That is the problem that we've got. Both defences are terrible. City's midfield is worse than Madrid's, and Madrid's midfield and attack is better. And I just think that is where City are going to fall short. Unless Nico Gonzalez comes in and he's an absolute utter unit, City are going to struggle in midfield and City are going to struggle in the forward line compared to Madrid. I don't think City are going to struggle in the forward line. We're just comparing it to Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr. And Haaland, Grealish or Savinho or Doku or Foden, they're not Rodrigo, Vinicius and Mbappe, are they? Rodrigo's the danger man. You all can sit here and go, it's Vinicius, it's Mbappe. No, it's Rodrigo. He murks City every single time. He comes in on that right-hand side. He scores so many goals against us. He scored, obviously, the 2 goals to break my heart in the Bernabeu. He scored the goal at the Etihad last year. He scored in both legs last year. He's an utter menace when he plays City. And the first leg is at the Etihad. Every single time that we played Madrid with the first leg being at the Etihad, we've also gone out. The 2 times that we've won, we played at the Bernabeu first. I just don't know which way this is going to go. The fact that Madrid are coming to the Etihad first concerns me. The fact that City don't have a right back concerns me. The fact that City have an aging 2 CDMs in midfield. I'm hoping that Nico Gonzalez plays and we get him in for the Leyton Orient game at the weekend, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't see Nico Gonzalez starting this game. So it's going to be Kovacic, Gundogan and KDB, or Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, KDB in that midfield, or even Bernardo Silva, Gundogan and Kovacic. I think we're cooked in midfield. But we're at home. I think we're going to get a result. Albeit, this is a Champions League prediction. I've just broke down. This is the daddy of games. We've got to cover it. But I think City are going to win this game, but not win by much. And we need at least a 2-goal lead to go to the Bernabeu. If we get a 2-goal lead, I will feel comfortable because they're going to have to come out and play. But when they want to come out and play, they can goddamn play. Forgetting about Bellingham as well. Completely forgot about Jude. I'm going 2-1 City. I just think that we'll have enough to get a result at the Etihad. We are very, very good at the Etihad. We are unbeaten at the Etihad in about, 4 years? I think the last team to beat us was Lyon in 2019. Obviously, we're not counting the Madrid on penalties. We're counting teams to beat us in 90 minutes with the exception of penalty kicks. And that was Lyon. I think Nabil Fekir scored in that game and we lost 2-1 on match day 1 of 2019. I think that's it, or 2018. One of those years. I think we're going to win 2-1. I've got to back my team. It's going to be close. Madrid have got the better midfield. Madrid have got the better attack. I think we've got the stronger defence. Overall, I don't know who's going to go through, but somebody's got to go through. Somebody's got to go out. Let me know your prediction for this game in the comments. It's going to be crazy. Moving on, let's move swiftly on. We covered that game for far too long. It's Brugge against Atalanta. And Atalanta have been very, very good this year. They currently sit 3rd in the Serie A. And if they got a result against Barcelona, I know they got a 2-2 draw, but if they got a win, they could have actually got in the top 8. And they started the day in 8th and unfortunately just missed out by drawing to Barcelona 2-2. Brugge are at home. Obviously, they played against City in the last match day. I was very impressed with what I saw with Brugge, but they only had really one way of playing against a good team, and that was sitting deep and hitting them on the break. And they did that plenty of the time, and obviously they went 1-0 up. They were defensively sound. They were very compact, but they allowed Kovacic to run through, which broke the momentum of their defence and allowed us to go on and play the football that we wanted to play, and we found a way to get past them by 3-1. But it was no means easy, and that was at the Etihad. So I think Brugge will get a result in this game. Even though Atalanta are the better team, I expect them to go through on aggregate, but you never know after the first game, and I think Brugge might nick a result here. I am going with a draw. I'm going with Brugge 2, Atalanta 2. Atalanta to go 1-0 up, Brugge to come back and go 2-1 up. Atalanta then to break down the Brugge resistance and to get a last-minute equaliser, maybe from Lookman, or a player to pop up, like Ederson, a shot from outside of the box. Who knows? It's going to be 2-2. That's my prediction. Monaco take on Benfica, and this is actually a really close game. I think there's hardly anything to separate these two teams. The first leg is in Monaco, in Monte Carlo, and I'm expecting Benfica to go there and try and get a draw. because they can beat anybody at Estadio de Luz. I know Benfica are a very, very good team at home. In my opinion, they were robbed against Barcelona. I thought that was a penalty on them, and then Barcelona scored down to make it 5-4. A great comeback from them. They bottled the fact that they were 4-1 up, and then bottled it for 5-4, but I do think it was a penalty in that late game. But you know what? It happens. Stuff happens. You're still through if you get past Monaco, but Monaco are no easy team, especially at home. They beat Aston Villa on the last home game, and I just think that Monaco will try their best to get a result in this game because they know that they need to take something to the Estadio de Luz. I think Monaco are going to win, but I think Benfica will be happy with the draw. They're going for a draw. And I think Benfica will be happy if they lose this by a goal, but get themselves on the board. And I think Benfica might score first, Monaco to come back, and to win 2-1. I'm going 2-1 to Monaco in a very, very intense affair here at the here at the Stade Louis II. And then when they go back to the Estadio de Luz, I think this could be an absolute free-for-all game. Because if Monaco go in with a 2-1 lead and Benfica score first, Monaco are going to have to come out and attack and to try and get themselves back in the game. And that's why I think this game could be absolutely crazy. But for me, my prediction stands 2-1 Monaco. It's going to be a great game. If you're not watching Celtic Bayern or the Merseyside derby, I'd watch this one. It's actually going to be quite a good game. And speaking of Celtic Bayern, let's get onto it. Celtic take on Bayern Munich. And Celtic fans are not banned. That's the main thing that Celtic cared about. They are not banned for their trip to Munich after their illegal pyrotechnic display at Aston Villa. UEFA can't hold their Congress meeting until after the game. So the good news is Celtic are going to Bayern on an away day. The bad news is they're going to get banned from a game, but it's going to be next season. And obviously with Celtic doing so well this year, that could affect them next year. So you've kind of shot yourselves in the foot there, Celtic fans. We all know you've got great fans, but come on, stay inside the rules and back your team no matter what, because that could cost you next year. That could come back to bite you in the backside. But you're getting an away day to Allianz, but that's in the next episode. We'll concentrate on that one. This has to be one of the best atmospheres at Paradise that we're going to see for a long, long time. I'm going to try and go, but it's probably going to cost me 300 quid. Let me know if I should pay 300 quid to go to this game at Celtic and diesel to get up as well. It's a long, long way. It's about 3.5 hours up the M6. So it's probably going to cost me about 376 quid, 76 quid in diesel, and then 300 quid for my match ticket. Let me know if you want me to go down in the comments. But this is going to be insane. I think Bayern are going to be rocked. This atmosphere is going to be just ridiculous. And I think Bayern are going to be rocked by the atmosphere. This is Celtic's best chance to get a result. They have to get something. And I see them getting something. Because, let's be honest, right? No one's expecting Celtic to go through. Bayern aren't. Celtic club aren't. Club officials have even come out and said that they're not expecting them to get themselves through, which is why they're concerned about the Champions League fans ban for next season. So everyone's writing Celtic off. But that is the best time to be Celtic. When everyone writes you off, like they did against Barcelona in that magical night in 2008 or 9. And Tony Watt and Wanyama came up with 2 goals and you won that game and everyone was just going crazy. Is that going to be the same in this game? I don't know. I think it's going to be one hell of a game. I see Celtic getting something. I'm going to go with a Celtic win. My heart says draw, but my head says, you know what? Go for a Celtic win. Because let's be honest, they're not going to win at the Allianz Arena. But if they've got something to hang on to, you can't write Celtic off. And at home, that atmosphere from the Green Brigade, from the fans, is just going to be utter special. It's going to be an amazing night, especially if they can get a result. So I'm going to go 2-1. And have your night against Bayern. But can you hold on to it at the Allianz? That's the big question. Feyenoord take on Milan in the final game. Now, Feyenoord have not been impressive this season. They're 5th in the Eredivisie. But they beat Bayern Munich by 3-0 in matchday 7. They came from the depths of 3-0 down at the Etihad in matchday 6. They've been playing okay. They've been a bit hit and miss. Milan, obviously, have really been bad in Serie A this season. But they've picked it up recently. They got a good result in the derby, albeit they conceded a last-minute goal from De Vrij. And they kind of threw that away. They had that win. But they got their revenge, beating Roma by 3-1 in a great result. This was actually tonight. So it depends what Milan's going to show up. You've got Walker and Teo as the most OP FIFA centre-backs, FIFA full-backs now in that team. Leao's playing with confidence. I think Milan might go here and get a result. Even though it's at De Kuip, it's a very, very hard place to play. My head says Feyenoord, but my heart says Milan. So it's like, I'm going to meet in the middle. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Feyenoord have got to win this game because going to San Siro with a defeat at home, that is just Mount Everest. So they've got to get something. And even a draw, that's pretty much Kilimanjaro. So they've got to get something. I just think that both teams will cancel each other out. I'm going 1-1. It's going to be a great game at De Kuip. The atmosphere for both games should be insane. So there is my predictions. Will City beat Madrid? Will Celtic beat Bayern Munich? Remember, this is only leg 1, and the advantage, obviously, is with the away teams in this week because they need to go, just get draws, get beat by 1 goal, and they'll be at home next week in the deciding leg. And with that, I will see you guys next week. I'll be at the City game tomorrow, so make sure to like and subscribe to check that out. Also, remember to check out Flashscore. You can get every single game on your phone as the goals go in. You don't want to miss a goal in these Champions League games, so download it now. It's completely free. Link is in the pinned comment and the top of the description. And the Champions League is back. Who is going to get through to the round of 16? It's going to be insane. Like and subscribe. The Champions League is the best competition in the world, and I am absolutely buzzing for this knockout playoff round, even though we've got Real Madrid and I'm absolutely shitting myself.